enjoying it there in being back in KZN? It must be it's quite a change from Stellenbosch, right?
It's quite the opposite to the rest of the world. However, it's quite nice to also be close to my family.
Yeah, I can believe that. So, could you share us a little bit of the history of Highgate Estate and how did they start making wine there in KZN?
Okay, so I relocated back to KZN at the end of 2015, and on arrival, I came across a message on a mutual winemaker group that there was a wine farm in KZN in need of a winemaker.
Hmm.
I then made contact with the owner, Mr. Rudy Cassia, and I was then appointed as winemaker in 2016. Um, Initially, Highgate Wine Estate was purchased by Mr. Cassia in 1996. At that time, it was a vegetable farm producing lettuce and carrots, to name a few, under hydroponics. From here, Mr. Cassia had then opened up a farm stall in which he sold fresh veggies daily to the public. By 2002, he had then opened the coffee shop at Piggly Wiggly. And in 2004, with the aid from Sadara Agricultural College, a trial was done in planting vineyards. Here it started off just under a hectare of 25 different varietals, with major plantings being Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinotage, Shiraz, and Chardonnay, as well as Merlot. In 2010, Highgate Wine Estate was the first to have certified a Chardonnay from KZN origin. Um, and between 2010 and 2016, the owner produced wine as a hobby. However, when I joined the Highgate Wine Estate in 2016 as the winemaker, the winemaking had now become professional, and the brand of Highgate Wine Estate was established. From here on, I worked on the vineyards in getting them back to optimal production. Through major vineyard therapy, I was able to increase production. To give you an idea, in 2016 when I arrived, we only produced 1,500 bottles. 2017 went up to 4,500 bottles.
Oh,
2018 we produced 6,000 bottles. 2019 we were on 16,000 bottles, and this year we reached a high of 15,000 bottles as well.
that's incredible. How many hectares do you have under vines?
We currently just have under 5 hectares of vineyard, of which around half of it is in production of grapes, whilst the others are in their first and second year growth. Sorry.
And do you have space to expand? Do you have land to expand on?
Yes, we do have around about a 10-year planting program that we have. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, so our ultimate goal is to get around 17 hectares up to 20 hectares in total of vineyards.
Awesome. So besides, I mean, now you're making wine and you said the owner at a coffee shop. What else if a visitor comes to you, are you open for visitors? And if somebody comes to the farm, what can they experience there?
Yes, so to date, I have created about 12 different products offered to the public to experience. At the estate, we offer various tasting options. Um, Bearing in mind these are 100% estate wines from the grapes produced on the estate. Um, we do have our morning tasting, which comprises of our unwooded Chardonnay, Rosé, and Syrah, and our Chardonnay tasting, which comprises of the unwooded Chardonnay, the partially wooded Chardonnay, and the wooded Chardonnay. I also have red wine that's up for tasting, which comprises of the Highgate Pinotage, our Merlot, the Highgate Cabernet Sauvignon, and the Black Edition Cabernet Sauvignon. We're not doing a tasting of our very own grappa. This comprises of 3 grappas, a plain white spirit grappa of 43%, and 2 flavored grappas, a wild berry and a blueberry flavored, that are both 18% alcohol and sweet.
Oh, that sounds
We
awesome.
have a chocolate. Yes, it is. It's really a great experience. We now have a chocolate and wine tasting, which
Mhm.
comprises of the 3 wines paired perfectly with 3 different chocolates, and the wild berry flavored grappa that's paired with Turkish delight. Um, with this, we also have a cheese and wine pairing, which comprises of 3 different wines with 3 different cheeses. And apart from all these tastings, we also have added experiences such as cellar and vineyard tours and a wine etiquette workshop. We also open our doors to photo shoots, weddings, engagements, and corporate functions.
Oh, that's amazing. So quite a few things going on there. When you say, how many guests can you guys accommodate in your corporate functions?
Um, we currently can go up to, I think it's around 80 guests, if I'm not mistaken. But if it's bigger, then we can make use of the external areas that we have.
Just a quick interruption, but I do need to remind you that we are currently in a very difficult time. The South African government has set up a fund where businesses and individuals can donate to support our country through this crisis. Go to the website now and add your small donation: www.solidarityfund.co.za. Please join us all in the fight against COVID-19. That is at www.solidarityfund.co.za. Now, let's get on with the show.
Can guests stay over on the farm? Is there accommodation?
Um, there are various outlets, Airbnbs and hotels around the country
In the
area.
area?
There are places for accommodation, not necessarily on the farm, however, short distances actually.
I saw on your website that you also advertise residential real estate. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So basically, we are a country estate that comprises of various shops, clothing stores, food outlets, and the wine cellar, where the wines are produced and tasting room is available. This is the
Okay.
first and only concept of a residential wine estate in KZN, which makes us unique to have the only residential wine estate with commercial shops and a wine estate that
Wow.
produces our own wines from the grapes grown on the estate. With that being said, we do also offer our facilities to neighboring farmers that produce grapes. However, their wines will be made solely for their personal use and not mixed in with our 100% estate wines. The residential estate comprises of 26 houses with a unique architectural design that is upmarket with beautiful views over the mountains. The spaces between the residential houses have no walls between them, but do have vineyards planted between them, which brings about a free living environment and privacy. The residents are within walking distance of the various 23 different shops we have available, which comprises of food stores, clothing stores, the wine cellar, and tasting room, with the putt-putt course and a zip line that goes over the vineyards as an entertainment entity. We also have a park run that we do every Saturday and a pine forest that the people can walk through, which is quite
Wow.
good and upcoming. Yeah.
Well, that sounds awesome. So tell us, back to the important stuff, the wines. Can you tell us a bit more about the wines you're producing and also um, your, your winemaking philosophy?
Sure thing. To date, I'm producing 100% estate wines at Highgate Wine Estate with the wine of origin, KwaZulu-Natal. All grapes are grown and produced by myself on the estate from berry to bottle. I'm currently producing single variety wines, um, and I have blended two blends, which will be released during this year, hopefully after the lockdown. In terms of my winemaking philosophy, I believe that above all other requirements, a true passion and drive from winemaking is the foundation of producing a premium wine. With these attributes, you are able to overcome challenges and discover your true capabilities. If you love what you do, it shows. This positive energy spreads to others and motivates people to give off their best efforts. Positive thinking, willingness to learn, good communication and understanding one's strengths and weaknesses also allows us to work effectively in a team, as every person involved in the wine industry makes an invaluable contribution.
Well, that sounds fantastic. So your wines, where are they sold? Are you exporting any of them, or they're all sold locally? What's the situation?
Um, we are currently selling our wines locally. We are currently producing around 16,000 bottles, more or less, per annum, which is suitable for our local market. However, we are in discussion of entering the export market and targeting upcoming markets such as Middle Africa.
It's awesome. I think it seems a lot of people are targeting the African market because there seems to be a price premium in Africa. Do you find that to be true?
I agree. It is a market that is untouched, where the like the demand is high but the supply is low. So I think if we can tap into that, we can really set the boundaries and continue to export our wines to those areas.
Yeah. So, okay, well, the other thing that's happened lately is we are all under lockdown. I think I just wanted to ask you: Are you currently you're on the farm and still working, right?
Yes, I do go in. Well, currently I'm on lockdown, but I do go in to do my necessary checks on the vineyards, the vineyards and the wines actually.
Mm-hmm. So, what about any new ideas during this lockdown? Have you thought about online sales or anything similar?
Yeah, so basically, since the pandemic had started, it has really brought me some time into thinking of and creating new ideas and products for the market. And now that we are on level 4, I will then begin my trials on these products.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
Nothing has been solid yet, as we are waiting to be reunited with everyone at the cellar. But as soon as the lockdown is over and we are permitted, we will be doing deliveries throughout SA with discounted rates of our wine.
Okay, that's awesome. So, what is the most important thing that you've learned from your wine journey?
Well, for me, being able to produce wines in a challenging area like KZN has really tested the foundation of my knowledge and experience. KZN being a summer rainfall region, which is the complete opposite to the rest of the world, brings about major challenges with growing the vineyard, as powdery mildew and downy mildew becomes a threat to us. But I always say by sticking to the basic principles, these challenges will be overcome. And this can be done by following strict viticultural practices.
Okay, that's awesome. So, can you give us your very own wine quote?
Yeah, so I do have a few, but I chose one that I really enjoy. My quote goes as, the best wine blend includes friends, family, and laughter.
I like that. That is actually a very good one. So, Thornton, it's been a pleasure talking to you. If people want to get hold of Highgate Estate and your wines, how do they go about that?
We have various platforms that we make use of. So we have social media such as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as which links up to our website. And from there, all our information is available to the public. Our address is on there, contact details, email addresses, etc.
So, Thornton, thank you very, very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for supporting our show. If you would like to get more exposure for your business, please have a look at our sponsorship options. Thanks again for supporting About the Winelands. Please follow us on YouTube and on our social media channels. All details and links are in the description.
Hello everybody, it's Dr. Peter, the Cape Wine Lover. Welcome, hello. Today is the first time I'll be doing my live wine tasting. I'm so excited.
Welcome to About the Winelands. In this show, we will be chatting to leaders, influencers, wine producers, restaurants, and other role players. Tune in every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday for your latest episodes. You will find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram TV, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast.
Before we start the show, I need to share something really exciting. It's called the About the Winelands pop-up. And if you want to get your customers excited about your lockdown or online specials, you need to email us right now. Email us at visitthewinelands@gmail.com and add Winelands pop-up to the subject line. Who knows? We might just make you an offer you cannot refuse. That is visitthewinelands@gmail.com. Now, on with the show. Good day, everyone. Today I'm speaking to Lisa from Lisa Loves Wines. Welcome, Lisa, to About the Winelands.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for the invite.
So, Lisa, tell me, how are you enjoying your lockdown period? Are you having a good time?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm enjoying the 2 hours extra a day. It's quite refreshing. To wake up refreshed every morning is a nice thing. I've never been a morning person, so well, that's quite nice. And otherwise, I must be honest with you, I enjoyed the time with my kids and my family. It was all an unusual experience, something we most probably will never have again. But I think it can slowly but surely come to an end now. I'd love to go walk on the beach and go back into the winelands. I miss it terribly.
So, talking about the winelands, how did you get involved in the wine industry?
I went to Stellenbosch University.
Oh, that's a good way to start, right?
Yes, I think so too. Yes, a university in the winelands. So it's everyone was sort of involved in the wine industry. No, seriously, I was romantically involved with the person who's my husband now, and he was as a winemaker, and all the events we went to, everything was around wine, and it united us because it meant meeting people, eating great food, and having great moments together, and we just loved it. It was a nice industry to be in, and it involved and connected a lot of different types of people. So it was lovely. That's how it started. And he then moved to Germany as a flying winemaker. And after my studies, I also went to Germany and stayed there for over 18 years before coming back to South Africa. But because I studied politics and multicultural relations, my partner was stationed in a very small remote little town with only one employer, which was at that stage the largest wine producer in Europe. It was also the only place where I would be able to work. So that's how I got into the wine industry itself. I started to work for this wine producer. And then once I returned to South Africa, I that's how I created Lisa Loves Wines. I started Lisa Loves Wines with the experience that I had in the industry in Europe.
Well, that's awesome. So I mean, you've been in the wine industry for quite a while. So, and also I mean, you speak different language. Which languages do you actually speak?
I speak Italian, French, German, and a bit of Spanish, as well as Afrikaans. Afrikaans is my mother language.
Amazing. So,
Yeah.
Lisa Loves Wine started.
Yes. Well, when I came back to South Africa, I initially looked for work in the industry. But it really bothered me to think that I would be spending so much time in an office under a roof within four walls. I wanted to travel again at that stage. I wanted to stay put. So, you know, it started by chance, really, as it so often does. And one tour guide actually in a coffee shop recommended an institute